Now, I understand budgeting or having a budget is not cool, it's not sexy. Budget is a restrictive word. But what if I told you that just becoming aware, becoming more conscious of your money could actually help you make an additional million over the next 10 years? And all it takes is 1 hour a year. If that sounds exciting, let's get cracking. Hey guys, this is Karthik and welcome to my YouTube channel where every week we will get a little bit closer to our financial goals and dreams. Have you ever said or heard your friends say, I don't know where my money goes? My salary comes in and it's gone. 95% of people live their life this way. Don't be that person, all right? What if in just 1 hour every year, we could actually transform our financial future? We're going to talk about 3 key things in this video. Number 1 is just getting a basic awareness and becoming conscious of our money. Number 2 is how to use that awareness to make $1 million in the next 10 years. And the third is how to do all of this in just 1 hour every year. So step 1 is actually becoming aware, right? So the first thing is we need to pull out our credit card statements, pull out your bank account statements, take a look at it. Look for all your recurring expenses because every month, I promise, there are a few things. There are a few subscriptions, there are a few coffees, there are a few things in your life that you are paying for every single month. Just to give you a quick example, 3 years ago, when I looked at my year-end expenses, I realized that I was spending money on a cup of coffee from Starbucks every single day. Now don't worry, I'm not telling you not to have your Starbucks coffee, but I'm just making a point that when I realized that I was spending $25 every single day on a Starbucks coffee, that's almost $600 a month. That turns out to be $7,200 a year. Over a 10-year period, that's almost $100,000. Now think about what impact that has on our life. The other things that I realized last year was my telecom and my internet and my home internet bills. I was paying the top bracket for each of those bills. And I realized, what if I bring this down? We don't spend time these days watching TV. We use Netflix, we use Amazon Prime. So why are we paying for those additional services? So looking at your bills actually makes you aware, makes you conscious of where that money is going. And just to tell you how I did it or what worked for me, when I realized that I was spending an additional $600 a month on Starbucks, I realized I like the coffee at home. I like the coffee that my coffee machine at the office makes. So what if I cut this bill out 100%? Now, I'm not saying you need to do that, but what if you could cut it 50% or 25%? But the first thing you need to do is say, can I dispense this expense entirely? Can I cut it 100%? How much would it actually impact my life? And if you realize that it's not going to change or make so much of an impact, cut it out completely. There are other bills like your gym memberships that you don't use or other subscription services that you're paying for. On our televisions, when the World Cups come around, we end up paying an additional couple of $100 a month for that subscription. And when the World Cup gets over, we forget to cancel. And then a couple of months later, we realize that, oh shit, we're paying this additional 100 or a couple of $100 every month. And then the next big tournament comes along and, they charge us this money for the rest of our lives. Can we cut that out? Can we, take care of those few things? The second thing is to actually ask yourself, how much is that cutting that expense going to impact my life? Because most times you'll realize it doesn't really make a big difference, right? We can easily dispense with those charges. Now for the exciting bit. What if we could save just $1,000 every month? Looking at our bills, sit down with your partner, sit down with whoever you take care, or if it's alone, sit down with a drink. And if you, after looking at your numbers, you figure you can save $1,000 a month. Maybe that's a little bit on the higher side, maybe it's on the lower side, but on average, if you could save $1,000 every month, that's $12,000 a year. And you invest this money into the stock market, which on the average, over the long run, has returned over 10% a year, compounded annually, right? We'll talk about that later, but imagine you just took this $12,000 and invested it in the stock market. And you did this exercise every year. Every year, you spend that 1 hour, go through your numbers, see where you can cut $1,000, and every year keep adding that. Over a 10-year period, this exercise, which takes 1 hour a year, will compound and grow to $1 million in the next 10 years. Now, when I did this exercise a couple of years ago, and I've been doing it ever since, it blew my mind because I realized that without impacting my lifestyle, this is nothing to do with anything else. This is just from my existing lifestyle. Can I cut back a little bit just to ensure that 10 years from today, the Karthik 10 years from today will thank the Karthik today. So that is something where, and all it takes is 1 hour a year. So that's it. budgeting is actually that simple. It's actually just looking at where your money is going, becoming aware of your spending habits, and trying to see which areas you want to cut back. It doesn't mean you have to cut back on the things that you actually enjoy doing. Maybe a Starbucks coffee brings you the greatest happiness in the world, and by all means, continue doing it. But there are other areas, I realized that my wife, my mom, and me all had Prime account. That might be 20, $30 a month. But all those small expenses add up. Can you negotiate your gym membership? Can you negotiate your cleaning services? Can you negotiate the guy who washes your car? All these small expenses will add up over the long term. And not only do they add up, they compound when you start investing this money over the long term. So all I ask today is to pull out those bank statements, take a look at it, sit down for an hour, and then just start making those few eliminations and make those few changes in your lifestyle. And 10 years from today, you will thank yourself for taking that 1 hour every year. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.